Hey, what's up? I'm Viano and this is my 16th video tutorial on D3. There's a lot of stuff going on in this video. First of all, as you can see, I've added in a new skin to my text editor. I hope the code is still visible and readable. If not, just go crazy in the comment section. The things I want to show you in this video are, well, it's 3 additional layouts. And those are the cluster layout, the pack layout, and, well, a bubble chart, which is basically a pack layout but customized. So first of all, the real quick one I want to show you is if we go back to our tree layout, this is the one we created in the last video. If we take a look at the layout right here, you can see that I've added an additional node, Mr. X here, which has the same depth as Sylvia and David, but no children. So in the data, it looks like this. We could, whenever we have data like this, we can display it in one of 2 ways. We can either display it using the tree layout, like I'm doing right now, where the depth is preserved, or we can use the cluster layout, which takes all the leaf nodes, that is all the nodes that do not have children, and place them at the end of our layout. So I can just show you real quick. If we just, it's just this word actually that we have to change from the tree layout to the cluster layout, and D3 will recalculate the position of Mr. X so that he ends up here instead of here. Alright, that was the first quick thing I wanted to show you. So let's move on to the second one, which is the pack layout. The pack layout looks like this, and it has a hierarchical structure as well. The root node is the big circle that contains everything else, and it goes down to the leaf nodes, which are the smallest ones right here. And well, a difference between the tree layout and the pack layout is that the radius of the circles, well, let me put it this way. In the pack layout, the radius of the circles can be used in one of 2 ways. We can either use it to actually display some numeric value if we have some numbers in our data, or we can just use it to display the node depth. So the way I set up the data for this example, if we head over to my data.json, I've added this value property to each node, and I just made the root node, I supplied it with the largest value, and the values are descending the further down we come down the hierarchy. But we could use this to store, for example, each person's age or whatever. Okay, so we're running out of time. Let's begin coding. First of all, we want to create our pack layout, and just as before, we just create it like that, d3.layout.pack, and let's set the size. And actually, in this tutorial I want to store the dimensions in variables, so it's a bit more easier to keep track of. So we'll set the size of the pack layout to the width and height variable. Just make some room here. Also, we'll give each circle a padding of 10 pixels, and this is a method that belongs to, or are provided to us by the pack layout. Right, okay, so let's load up some data. We'll load our my data.json file, set up our callback function, and ooh, that shouldn't be there. Alright, so just as in with the tree layout, the pack layout provides us with, I say provide us with a lot, but never mind. It provides us with a nodes method, and the nodes method in the pack layout has pretty much the same function as in the tree layout. So if we console log the nodes and take a look at them, you can see that we are returned with an object for each node, and it contains the X and Y properties, name, depth, children, and also 2 additional properties. And what they're doing in simplified term is just setting the radius of each, or the size of each circle. So yeah, that's the nodes method of the pack layout. So we can continue just as with the tree layout to create, well, to bind some data, and we'll just select everything with the class of node, and the data will be provided by the nodes method, and enter as usual, and we'll append a G element to each node, and well, that is the node, but and we'll give it a class of node, and this is basically just the exact same code as in the previous video. So I'll just speed this up. Oh, this is the messy part. Translate and append dx and the comma, and append dy, and finish off with that. Yeah, okay, so we have our G elements for each node. Now what we want to do is append a circle, the actual circle. So to each node, append 1 circle, and let the radius, and this is one difference between the tree layout and the pack layout, and we'll let the radius be a function of the data, so we'll return dr, as we saw earlier, the r property of the object. And we can give each oh, what am I doing? I'm tired, it's late. We'll give it a fill. Oh wow, I can't type. I should go to bed. So we'll give them an opacity of 0.25 and a stroke. Let's give it a gray color. Obviously I've prepared this, so I know what to type, but it's still messy. And a stroke width 2. Right, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so we have our circles, each with their proper radius. Now we just want to add some text. So let's append some text, and the text will be a function of our data. We'll just return t.name. Let's save. Right, so there's a couple of things we need to do. First of all, we don't want to show the names of, we just want to show the names of the leaf nodes, the childless nodes. So the way to do that is really really simple actually. We just you'll recognize this if you've worked with JavaScript before, but otherwise I'll just explain it to you real quick. We'll do this. So this is a short form for an if statement. So what this means is, if the node has children, then set the text to nothing. Otherwise, set the text to the name property. So the question mark and the colon makes up this if statement, if else statement. So if we save this and refresh, you can see that we only have labels for the leaf nodes. So let me pause for a second. Okay, so once again we're in a hurry, but let me show you real quick how to turn this into a bubble chart. So the only difference really between this and a bubble chart is that we only keep the leaf nodes, so the smallest circles. We could do that in a complicated way using something called recursion, but I won't go into that now. I'll just show you another way of doing that. I've prepared another set of data, and yeah, I was lazy, I just called every object max, but I simply created a data file composed of one array, well, one root node and then an array of objects all at the same depth. So if we go back to index.html, and instead of loading my data.json, we'll load my data2.json, and you can see that now we have all these nodes at the same depth, but we want to get rid of this root node circle. So we'll just have to create some functions. So let's make the fill a function of the data as well, and we'll say return if it has children, then return white, else return steel blue. Let's save this and refresh. Right, so we just have to get rid of the stroke, and we'll just do the same thing here. We'll make this a function, and we'll say return if children, then if children, then return white, else return the grayish color. Let's save and refresh, and we have a kind of a bubble chart here going on. We could use a color scale on this to make it look better, but what we're showing here is just the value property, really. That's the value that we're visualizing. So each of these. Right, so I think that will do for this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one.